I know from experience that there is a quiet ache that comes with feeling behind. When you watch everyone else hit milestones while you're still trying to figure things out, I know exactly what that feels like. But what I've learned is this that rebuilding isn't about catching up, it's about coming back to yourself. In this episode, I want to share how to rebuild from grace and not guilt and find peace right where you are. So let me pause here and tell you that if you're ready to stop comparing your timeline and start creating your own, my one to one coaching program is designed for you. So together, we will create a roadmap that feels aligned with your season so that you can rebuild your confidence, your structure, and your sense of purpose again. So if that sounds like you, I want you to click below to book a free clarity call. And remember, your pace is perfect and your timing is right on schedule. Okay, so let's dive in. What does feeling behind look like in your own story, and how did I define progress? So I used to compare myself to the corporate career girls back home in Bermuda. I'm from a very small island and it's very corporate driven. Everyone is accountants, lawyers, that kind of thing. But that path would have never satisfied me. And to be honest, the rejection I experienced in the corporate world is actually what forced me to pursue the path of entrepreneurship. It's definitely been a roller coaster when you own your own business and you're responsible for all of the inputs and outputs. But I would say at least 75% of the time, if not even more, I'm so grateful that I made that decision to step into entrepreneurship because I remember back when I was a journalist, I had no control or autonomy over my own schedule. I had to apply and ask if I wanted to go on vacation for a couple of days. And the most vacation I actually got was 2 weeks. And that was after being with that company for 5 years. I realized that I wanted to be in the driver's seat of my own life. I wanted to be able to control my potential. I wanted to control the opportunities that came my way. I wanted to be able to create a schedule that aligned with my desires to be there for my family, but also to still have a career that fit with my lifestyle and the kinds of dreams that I had. In this next part of the video, I'm going to talk about the steps that helped me to find peace with my own pace. One of the things that I had to do was own that I'm unique and that my path is unique. What's meant for me is for me and it cannot miss me. And I think that that's something that I struggled with in my very early years, in my 20s, in my early 30s, because I felt like there was only one right way to go about this life. I felt like if I didn't get a higher paying job, there was no chance that I was going to reach my financial goals or financial independence or financial freedom. And so I just felt really down about myself. I was seeing these other women that were getting these promotions and these amazing positions were opening up to them. Even some of my close friends, I really admire them. They're amazing, hardworking, career focused, career driven women. And I would see them achieving these amazing milestones. And I felt so left behind, so left out. And I felt like it started to impact my confidence because I wondered, why not me? I wondered what was wrong with me. Why couldn't I not only get into those fields, but why couldn't I get promoted in those fields? And so I know for sure that if I would have had those opportunities, I would have stayed put. I wouldn't be where I am right now. And so that starts to bring a lot of clarity and a lot of peace to where I ended up because I'm so grateful for this life that I have. I'm so grateful for where my path led me, and it wouldn't have if I would have stayed in that safe career. They call it actually golden handcuffs for a reason. It's because when you start to make good money sometimes in some of those careers, it can almost be like a prison because you're afraid to leave. You feel like you're tied to that job, your identity, your self-worth is tied to that position. And I really had to learn when I first stepped into entrepreneurship that no matter what job I do, no matter what skills I decide to showcase or use in a career, that doesn't define me completely. It's a part of my life, but not my whole life. And I actually learned that as well in my early 20s and mid 20s because I was in a job and I was so depressed and so sad and had to really make some intentional steps to realign because I was so stressed out. I was just not happy with where I was. I had bosses in that environment. It was just in general very difficult role for me. But because of all that, because of all those challenges and little difficult moments that were sprinkled here and there, I learned what I actually did want. I wanted to be able to be the master of my own fate. I wanted to be able to carve out a life that was exactly as I imagined. And entrepreneurship has allowed me that. And it's been bumpy for sure. There's been times where I've been like, am I sure this is what I want to do? There's times when you're not sure if you're going to get the clients or you're going to get the opportunity. But in the end, if I look back on my journey, on my life, I know for sure that this path can be trusted because I've tried it. And even though I've not done it perfectly, I've done it very imperfectly. The opportunities have worked out, and I actually have been able to not only sustain myself, but reach even higher income levels than I did when I was in my full time 9 to 5 job as a journalist. And so, if I had to give any steps that would help you to find peace in your pace, I would just remind you that your path is unique to you. And so, don't look left, don't look right. Literally, stay focused on the race that you're running. Stay focused on what it is that you know that you are called to do. Stay focused on whatever career, whatever skills or vocation you want to build in and grow in, and start to create that life around that career. Start to use that career to create the life that you've always imagined, the self-care, the travel, the relationships, all the ways that career can help nurture and nourish you to become that best version of yourself. That's literally what I'm in pursuit of. The best version of myself, not the best version of anyone else, the best version of who I was meant to be, the best mom, the best wife, even just the best me, to feel so good in my skin, to feel so happy when I wake up, to feel so excited about the day ahead, to feel so in love with the life that I've created, and so proud of myself for doing the work, for overcoming the obstacles and the challenges, and actually owning who I am, and owning my story, and owning the imperfections, and owning the beauties that make up who I am. And so the last thing I want to talk about in this video is the truth that I want women to remember when they're rebuilding slowly. And so I know for sure that we can feel all the fear and the sadness because a chapter is ending. But I want us to also focus on the joy of a new chapter beginning. So literally stop dwelling on what could have been in the past and what's happening with this story ending, this chapter ending. I want you to instead focus all of your energy, time, resources into the beautiful next chapter that you're trying to write and how amazing it's going to be. It's going to be your best chapter yet. You just have to literally start putting the pen to paper, start taking action, start surrounding yourself with people that lift you higher, start putting yourselves in environments where you feel you're most alive, you're most awakened, you're most in love, you're most passionate, and start to really live out that life, that dream. That new chapter that's beginning, it is gonna be an amazing one. If there are things about your last chapter that you didn't love, this is your time to be so intentional in creating something better, something more beautiful for your life. And so, my last words of encouragement would be do not settle and don't shrink. Don't allow your light to be dimmed for anything or anyone because you really are worthy of a beautiful life. We all are. Just the fact that we are alive and breathing means that we are worthy of another day. God honestly woke us up for a reason. And I just pray and hope that you find meaning and joy to keep living, keep going, because it's so worth it to get to the other side of a dream. It's so worth it to see yourself actually living in the manifestation of the things that you once only hoped for, the things that you once maybe thought were not possible, the things that you didn't feel like would ever happen in any kind of time span that you were looking forward to. They do eventually happen. And then you're just so overjoyed and you're so grateful and you get to literally live with a sense of blessing in your heart all day, every day. And so to close out this video, I want to tell you that you are not behind. You are right on time for what's meant for you. If you're ready to rebuild with peace and clarity, I want you to book your clarity call below and let's make this your season of becoming. I'll see you in the next video.